Class 10, we'll continue chapter number 12, that is the endocrine glands. So in the last session, we discussed about two different kinds of endocrine glands and the different types of hormones secreted from those two glands. Okay, now today we have two different kinds of endocrine glands, okay, or the two different kinds of endocrine glands that we have got, and the different kinds of hormones secreted from those two endocrine glands. Okay, these four glands that we have got in our syllabus, as you all know. Okay, and today would be the last class for the year 2020. Okay, so let's get started. So we'll start with the gland which is situated in front of the neck below the larynx here, that is thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. Alright, thyroid gland, which is here in front of the neck below the larynx. Okay, bilobed, a butterfly structure, that means a butterfly shaped structure is there here in front of the neck, which is bilobed, having two lobes. All right, and these two lobes, are separated by a small region which is called isthmus, isthmus, isthmus. Okay, that part is the isthmus. You please refer to the book also. And this gland produces two different kinds of hormones. Okay, two different kinds of hormones. They are thyroxine, the other one is calcitonin. Okay, but in our syllabus this calcitonin is not there, so we have got only thyroxine. Okay, so thyroxine is a hormone which regulates the basal metabolism. Okay, basal metabolism. Basal metabolism. Basal metabolism. Okay, basal metabolism. What is basal metabolism? So basal metabolism actually is the rate of cellular oxidation resulting in the heat production at rest. Okay, that is basal metabolism. That means during our complete rest also the heat is needed. Okay, some heat energy is needed by the body to carry out number of body activities to keep the body alive. Okay, that time the rate at which the amount of heat required by that body at the rest is produced is called basal metabolism. So this basal metabolism is regulated by this hormone called thyroxine hormone. Okay, then an increase in the secretion of this hormone, okay, of this hormone increases the metabolism. That means the metabolism as you know that the sum total of all the chemical reactions, that means the entire chemical reactions in the body also get increased if this hormone is secreted more. All right, and similarly in a decrease in the secretion of this hormone also lowers down the metabolism. Okay, whatever it is, whether it is basal metabolism or the entire metabolic activities will be lowered down if this thyroxine is secreted less. Okay, then it influences, in general, it influences the general growth of the body. The general growth of the body has to grow. Okay, so this growth of the body is also regulated by this hormone, influenced by this hormone, and also it influences the ossification of the bones. Ossification of bones. Ossification of bones. All right, see here, ossification. O-S-S-I-F-I-C-A-T-I-O. Ossification of bones. Ossification of bones means the formation of new bone tissues, formation of new bone cells. Also is influenced by this thyroxine. All right, and also it influences the body temperature. We need to maintain the body temperature. Usually the normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So this is also usually regulated by this hormone. All right, and beside this, it also influences the mental development. The mentally, the people need to be, developed mentally, should be good. So that is also regulated by this particular hormone called thyroid. That means that important this hormone is. All right, so as you all know that this hormone, whichever it is, whether this thyroid that we talked about the different kinds of hormones in the last session also, whichever it is, if they are secreted more than the body requires, that time also some problem will be there. And if it is less than the body requires, then also the problem will be there. So let us talk about if this hormone is secreted less than the body requires, what happens? Let's see. So that condition is called hypothyroidism. Okay, hypothyroidism. Okay, hypothyroidism, as you see there, hypothyroidism, which means the hyposecretion of this hormone. If this hormone is secreted less than the body requires, what happens there in the body? What are the problems seen there in the body? Number one, it leads to this. The problems caused due to hypothyroidism. Number one is your simple goiter. Okay, simple goiter. So in simple goiter, what you know is that your the enlargement of the thyroid. Okay, the enlargement of the thyroid takes place. This thyroid is enlarged. Okay, and it's seen. This your enlargement of the thyroid is seen as as the as a swelling here in the neck. Okay, which is called simple goiter. That is because of the hypothyroidism. When the this hormone is secreted less, that simple goiter takes place where your thyroid gland or your thyroid is enlarged, and that is seen as a swelling here in the neck. So this problem is mainly caused due to the lack of iodine in the diet. When this iodine is not there in the diet, then this simple goiter takes place, or this simple goiter is occurred. That problem is seen. So usually this problem is seen with the people of Himalayan regions. Okay, the people who are living in the Himalayan region usually have this problem of simple goiter, because they're in the Himalayan region. The soil lacks this iodine. That means this iodine is not found there in the soil of Himalayan region, and the people who eat the food grown in such Himalayan region also lack iodine, so that they will have the chance of this problem called simple goiter, because this iodine is the chief ingredient of thyroidism. Okay, this iodine is the chief ingredient of iodine. Okay, that's why usually people living in the Himalayan region have this problem. But nowadays, people get this iodine there in the salt also. They're in iodized salt also, because we eat salt whether you are from the plains or you are from the hill, but they take iodine, iodized salt coming from down only, because the salt which we are nowadays eating contains iodine in it, which is called iodized salt. So from this iodized salt also people are getting iodine now. That's why we don't see that much problem nowadays with the people living in the Himalayan region also. Okay, then the other problem that we find due to this hypothyroidism is number one, as I told, simple goiter. Number two, we have got creatinism. Then number three, we have got myxedema. Okay, myxedema. So there are three problems. One, okay, they are simple goiter, as I told you what it is. Then cretinism, then myxedema. Okay, myxedema. So herein, I'll tell about cretinism, how it takes place, see, or what kind of problem you see there in cretinism. Let's see. This cretinism is usually seen there in children. Okay, there in children, this is usually seen. So that time what happens is that, the children become dwarf. That means it leads to dwarfism. Dwarfism. Okay, children become dwarf. Okay, so dwarf means of short height. There in Nepali we call it bampurke. Okay, like that, the children will have another problem called mental retardation. That means mentally the children are not sound if this problem occurs, called cretinism due to hypothyroidism. Okay, so that problem is also seen. So this dwarfism and dwarfism and the mental retardation mainly are due to defective development of the thyroid. Okay, so that problem is called cretinism. Then another one is a myxedema, myxoedema, myxedema. So in myxedema, what symptoms you see are number one. Okay, let me tell you this problem. Myxedema is mainly seen in adult. Okay, in an adult. So in an adult, what symptoms you can see because of this myxedema are number one, he becomes sluggish. He becomes very slack. All right, with swelling of the face and hands. Okay, it becomes very sluggish, very slack. It becomes very inactive, and also the face and the hands, swell up. So these are the problems you see because of myxedema caused due to hypothyroidism. Now hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism. Okay. Hyperthyroidism, that means when this hormone, that means thyroxine, is secreted more than the body requires, the problem will be seen. Okay, problem will be seen in the form of this exophthalmic goiter. Okay, the problem is seen in the form of this exophthalmic goiter. It's a kind of goiter, but here some other problems are also seen. Okay, so here person having this problem called exophthalmic goiter, shows a marked increase in metabolism. That means metabolic rate increases abnormally. All right, and the rate of heartbeat also rapidly increases. Okay, then what you can also see is that shortness of breathing problem will be there. Okay, protruded eyes will be looking as if they are coming out. Protruded eyes. Okay, protruded eyes, that means the eyes look as if they are going to come out. Okay, this kind of problem is seen. All right, then also formation of formation of goiter in the neck. Okay, formation of goiter in the neck. That's why it is called exophthalmic goiter. So these are the problems you see in the exophthalmic goiter because of this hyperthyroidism. Okay, so this is all about your thyroxine. Okay, secreted from your thyroid gland. So now we have got another hormone. Okay, so let me show you the person having this problem, which is also there in your book. I just want to show the book here. Is this here? You can see the book here, page number 157. The person looks like this. If he or she is having the problem called this exophthalmic goiter due to hyperthyroidism. Okay, you can see here in the book also. All right, now we go to next gland. Okay, next gland we have got here now is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Okay, pituitary gland. So pituitary gland, as I've told you in the last session also, is just located here in the brain, just below the hypothalamus. Pea-sized, okay, small p is there. Of that size, gland is there, which is called pituitary gland, and this pituitary gland is also called the master gland. Okay, the master gland. The master gland. Okay, why it is called master gland? As you know that this gland controls all other hormone secreting glands. Okay, so this gland has got two main portions, okay, there, that is anterior portion and the posterior portion. Okay, that means anterior pituitary gland and posterior. What? Posterior pituitary. Okay, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Okay, so this anterior pituitary, so from anterior pituitary there are four hormones given. They're in the syllabus, whereas from posterior pituitary two hormones given there in the syllabus. Okay, we'll talk about them one by one. So first, let's talk about this anterior, the hormones secreted from this anterior pituitary gland. So, okay, number one, it produces GH, which means growth hormone. Okay, so growth hormone. So this hormone, growth hormone, secreted from the anterior pituitary gland, stimulates the growth of the body. Okay, it stimulates the growth of the body. All right. So this hormone also sometimes is secreted less than the body requires, sometimes is secreted more than the body requires. So in case of hyposecretion, if it is secreted less than the body requires, especially in children, it leads to dwarfism. It leads to what? Dwarfism. Okay, the children become dwarf if this hormone is less there in the body. All right, and also if this hormone is more than the body requires. Okay, in children, okay, this hormone, over secretion of this hormone leads to another problem in children called gigantism. See here. Okay, gigantism. Okay, a child becomes abnormally tall, even the height of 2.7 meter. Okay, he even attained the height of 2.7 meter when he is child, when he is young. That time only he becomes this tall, which means abnormal growth. So this is because of hypersecretion of this growth hormone in children, and that problem is called gigantism. Okay, and in adults, because of the hypersecretion of this hormone, when this hormone is secreted more than the body requires, in case of adults, the problem or this condition leads to the another disease, another problem called acromegaly. So in this condition, that means in this problem, acromegaly, the person develops a large nose. Okay, nose will be very large enough. Okay, nose will be large enough, and the lips become very thick. Okay, that problem is seen if a person has this problem called acromegaly because of the hypersecretion of this growth hormone. All right, then similarly we have got another hormone secreted from anterior pituitary gland, that is a TSS. Okay, TSS, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, thyroid stimulating hormone, TSS. Please remember the full form of this different abbreviations here: GH, growth hormone; TSS, thyroid stimulating hormone. So this hormone secreted from the anterior region of this pituitary gland, stimulates or activates the thyroid gland, which we have just now finished here. Okay, so that gland which is here in the neck, so that thyroid gland gets activated under the influence of this thyroid stimulating hormone. Then only that thyroid gland produces thyroxine. That means for the production of that hormone, for the production of this thyroxine, it has to get an influence from this hormone from pituitary gland, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, and the other hormone that you find being produced from this anterior pituitary gland is your gonado stimulating hormone, GSH. Okay, gonado stimulating hormone or gonads stimulating hormone. Okay, gonad stimulating hormone. So which means this hormone, gonads stimulating hormone, activates or influence the gonads. Gonads means here you see ovaries in female, okay, and testes in male. Okay, so these gonads, ovaries in female and testes in male, also produce the different kinds of hormones. Okay, they also show the different kinds of activities. So these activities are are under the control of this GSS, gonadostimulating hormone. That means until and unless this GSS stimulate these gonads, they cannot produce their respective hormones. So that's the main function of GSS. Okay, then we have got another one, that is ACTH, that is Adrenocorticotropic Hormone. Okay, Adrenocorticotropic Hormone. Let's see. Adrenocorticotropic Hormone. Okay, adrenocorticotropic hormone. So this adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, please remember I have told you the full form of all the abbreviations used out here also need to be learned by you, memorized by you, because that may be asked there in the examination. Alright, so ACTH being produced from anterior pituitary gland, influence your adrenal hormone, especially adrenal cortex. Okay, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla that we discussed last time. So adrenal cortex is highly influenced by this hormone to produce cortical hormones. All right, cortical hormones. If this is not secreted from here, then your adrenal gland, especially adrenal cortex, may not be producing the hormone. So for the normal functioning of that gland, so this hormone has to be secreted from the pituitary gland. Okay, otherwise it will not function there. So for the normal activation and the functioning of that gland, this ACTH, influence this gland. Okay, so this is the function of this ACTH. Okay, so these 4 different kinds of hormones we see being produced from anterior pituitary gland only. Okay, since as I've told you, these different kinds of glands, you see thyroid gland, your gonads, your your adrenal cortex or adrenal gland, these all glands are regulated or controlled by this pituitary gland. Okay, since these pituitary gland control these different glands, the gland is said to be the master gland. So you may be asked, why is pituitary gland regarded to be the master gland? It is because this pituitary gland regulates and controls all other hormone secreting glands. Okay, that's why it is called the master gland. Alright. Okay, now from posterior pituitary gland, that means from the posterior region of pituitary gland, there are 2 hormones given. Okay, so they are ADH, okay, which stands for antidiuretic hormone. Then other one is oxytocin. Okay, ADH and oxytocin. All right. Now ADH or antidiuretic hormone, constricts blood vessels, increasing the blood pressure. Okay, so as you know that when the blood vessels constrict, obviously the pressure will be increased. Okay, pressure will be high. So that way the blood pressure increases. Okay, regulating the constriction of the blood vessels. Okay, and it also increases reabsorption of water from the kidney tubule. Okay, kidney, it also acts on kidney, it means. Okay, so from the kidney tubule, the more water is reabsorbed under the influence of this ADH. Okay, and deficiency of ADH, if this hormone is secreted less than the body requires, then it causes a kind of disease called diabetes insipidus. Okay, diabetes insipidus. Okay, it's not diabetes mellitus that you saw. Diabetes mellitus, there in the case of your hormones secreted from your pancreas, okay, called insulin. When it is less, then diabetes mellitus is caused, where the frequent urination takes place loaded with the sugar. But here the frequent urination will be there, okay, following the lot of loss of water, so that the person feels so thirsty. But in that water, okay, in that urine, only the water is there, no sugar. But in case of diabetes mellitus, sugar is there, but here no sugar, only the water is lost. Okay, the person feels so thirsty because of the loss of water in the form of urine. So that problem is called diabetes mellitus, diabetes insipidus, because of hyposecretion of ADH. The other hormone produced from there is your oxytocin. So this oxytocin, you see, very important, especially in the pregnant mother or woman, okay, which stimulates the vigorous constriction or vigorous contraction of uterus. Okay, vigorous contraction of uterus. Okay, so there in the pregnant woman or mother. So once it contracts, then a kind of force is formed there, which will help the mother to deliver the baby. Okay, because of the force, because force has to be there so that the baby can be delivered. So in that case, this oxytocin, stimulates the vigorous contraction of uterus. Okay, and also it stimulates milk ejection. Once the baby is delivered, the baby is to be fed with the milk. So that time, this hormone also stimulates the system there inside, so that the milk is ejected and the baby is fed. Okay, so this is the function of oxytocin. So these are the 6 different kinds of hormones you see being given here, produced from the pituitary gland. All right. Okay, now we have control of hormone secretions or feedback mechanism, the last portion of this chapter, which is also there in your syllabus. Okay, so control of hormone secretions or feedback mechanism. Actually, this is a system there in the body. Okay, there is a system there in the body that if there is an increase in the secretion of some hormone, consequently the body activities are not normal. Okay, are not normal. So body, in fact, as a whole is not in the normal condition. All right, so to check it down, okay, there is a message. Okay, the order will be formed there in the system that the secretion of the hormone will be now decreased. Okay, in the first case it was increasing, consequently the problem was seen there in the body activities. Okay, to check it down, now there is a message to decrease in the secretion of that hormone, so that the normalcy of the body can be restored. Okay, so this mechanism of the body, okay, to bring the body in the normal condition, okay, is called feedback mechanism or control of hormone secretions. If this system is not there, then what happens is that suppose one particular hormone is there, let us say TSH, okay, let us say TSH, okay, thyroid stimulating hormone, let us say. If this hormone coming from the pituitary gland is stimulating the thyroid to produce more thyroxine, okay, then what will happen? The metabolic rate of the body, okay, basal metabolism will be increased, okay, then the body may not be in the normal condition. If it is coming in excess, okay, the problem may happen there. So in order to check it down, then TSH, okay, there will be the message that TSH will be secreted less, so that the the metabolism, okay, or your basal metabolism will be in the normal condition. So that system is called feedback mechanism. Okay, so most of the mechanism, most of the hormones there in the body, or the system there in the body, show the negative feedback mechanism. Okay, negative feedback mechanism, negative feedback mechanism. Okay, suppose if the if one particular hormone is being secreted more, and the activities now there in the body are are not normal, okay, the body itself is now not functioning properly, then in that case the message will be coming there to check it down. Okay, if it is increasing, the other side will be there to decrease it. So this is negative, okay, where the opposite feedback is coming, opposite. If it is increasing, the message will come to decrease it down. So this is opposite. So most of the hormones or the system or the mechanism you see there are negative feedback, but there are some which also show the positive feedback mechanism. Positive feedback mechanism. Okay, positive feedback mechanism. Okay, example, you see oxytocin. Okay, the hormone oxytocin, I have told you just now, the hormone secreted from the posterior part of your pituitary gland. Okay, that oxytocin is there, which influences the uterine wall or the uterus, okay, to contract. Okay, it will just regulate or influence the uterus to contract, so that contract in the in the pregnant woman or in the pregnant mother, so that the baby can easily be delivered. Okay, so that oxytocin, this hormone, keeps giving the same command, okay, to contract the uterine wall till the baby is delivered. Okay, unless the baby is delivered, this hormone or the message keeps coming to contract the uterine wall or the uterus. Okay, so after the delivery of the baby only, this problem will be checked. I mean, this the message to contract the uterine wall will be checked. Okay, that means that then only after the delivery of the baby only, but till the baby is delivered, so the message comes from the system, so that oxytocin keeps influencing the uterine wall to contract, so that the baby can easily be delivered. Okay, so this is the positive feedback mechanism, where the message comes to influence the message comes to keep on influencing the uterine wall to contract. But in other cases, as I've told you here, in the case of thyroid stimulating hormone, what you see that if it is increasing the secretion of thyroxine hormone, the message comes to decrease the the secretion of thyroxine hormone, so that the body can regain or retain the normalcy. Otherwise, the body keeps functioning abnormally. Okay, so this system is called control of hormone secretions or feedback mechanism, which is also there in your syllabus. So this is how we conclude this chapter number 12, and as I've told you, this 12 is the last chapter of our syllabus for the year 2020 according to our revised syllabus. Okay, so now we have finished. So to get the question answer of all the chapters that I have suggested you to please get it from the internet, because giving you the notes of all this is not possible. So you just Google there, write just Google there and you write Selina's class 10 biology chapter number, whichever chapter you write there, you will get everything. You will get every what you call the question answer there. You get everything in detail. You do from there, and most of the questions you see there in ICSE from Selina's only. So you are lucky enough to have this Selina's concise book this year. So you please get all those question answers from there itself. Okay, I hope that you people do your ICC exam very well. So please do your exam very well, prepare well. Okay, all the best. Okay, thank you very much.